Good morning, class. Good morning, class. Today we are going to take our big read here in your literature anthology. We're on page 172. Because of the short week, we are going to take not only the big read, but the little story that follows it. Of course, it's just a few poems. We're thinking about which kind of poems they are, whether they're haikus, 3 lines with the 5 syllables, or if they're lyric poems. Remember, lyric poems gives the author's feelings or thoughts about a topic and oftentimes has rhyming words. The Sandpiper. At the edge of tide, he stops to wonder, races through the lace of thunder. On toothpick legs, swift and brittle, he runs and pipes, and his voice is little. But small or not, he has a notion to outshout the Atlantic Ocean. Now if you check out our rhyme scheme, it's 2 and 4. 2 and 4, 2 and 4 lines, 2 and 4 rhyme in each poem. I wonder how the author feels about a sandpiper. You know, he describes it as it having toothpick legs. He also talks about it having a big mouth, right? His voice is little, but he's trying to shout out the Atlantic Ocean. And so he's probably always making noise. Bats, ooh, shivers up my spine when I see bats. Let's read. All day bats drowse in houses' eaves. Now an eave is the under part where your roof overhangs the house, and then underneath there, bats like to get up underneath there. Like tents collapse for storage. But when dusk darkens, they, like fall leaves, they loosen, then they forage. Forage means that they go and eat. For juicy June bugs, meaty moths, mosquitoes eaten rare. They're scary, but there's nothing like a bat to clean the air. And I would agree with Mr. Kennedy here. Bats cleaning the air is an awesome thing. He must love bats because they eat so many mosquitoes. Hundreds and hundreds and thousands of mosquitoes in the summer. And those are the mosquitoes that they eat for their supper, and they don't bite me for the mosquito supper. Lyrical poems. Let's check out some haikus. The grasshopper springs. The grasshopper springs and catches summer wind with his outstretched wings. The grasshopper springs, 5. And catches the summer wind. 7. With his outstretched wings. 5. That's a haiku poem. And it's talking about this grasshopper here. Fireflies at dark. Fireflies dance at dusk. Tiny lanterns in the dark, lighting my way home. Has anybody ever seen a firefly before? They're kind of fun to catch and put in a little jar for a while and watch them light up. The fireflies light up as to tell other flies, hey, look at me, look at me. So we're going to take our normal second story from the big book. It's just these 2 poems. Fog. The fog comes on little cat feet. It sits looking over harbors and cities on silent haunches and then moves on. Ever seen a cat do that? It kind of walks around and then it sits down and looks for a while, and then walks around and sits down and looks for a while. That's what fog does. So that was a good comparison, some play on words there. White cat winter. White cat winter prowls the farm, tiptoes soft through weathered corn, creeps along low walls of stone, falls asleep beside the barn. Now, poetry sometimes is interesting because to me, that one doesn't have any rhyming words. It's not a haiku, and yet it obviously is a poem showing a lot of emotion about a cat in the winter on a farm. All right, guys, we want to tackle 2 of our objectives that we had been working on this week. The first one we want to take a look at is our similes and our metaphors. Remember, maybe at the bottom you can write some notes. Similes compare 2 things and they use like or as. One thing is like another, or one thing looks as another. And the other one is a metaphor one out of four. One thing is another thing. And these two usually compare things that are alike, and these two things compare two things that are really different. Here are our directions for our assignment for today. It says, read the passage, underline the simile or metaphor in the sentence. Then write the two things that are being compared. We see them sitting under trees at night in my yard, like a photo of a family. Now, I got to tell you, this we see them, this them, is a group of deer. And it's a group of deer. There was a story about deer this week that we didn't have time to read, and this one is referring back to that one. And so what are we comparing here? Well, I got like a photo of a family. What's like a photo of a family? We see them sitting under trees at night. Them sitting under trees. And remember, them is deer. Now, can you picture this? A group of deer are sitting underneath a tree, and you walk by. They're just sitting there, all just perfectly still, and you snap a picture of them. If you've ever gone and had family photos taken at some place, or at your home, or at a park, or at a photo gallery, you could understand what the author is talking about. So what is being compared? Deer sitting under a tree and photo of a family. Let's check out the second one. Then they, remember we're still talking about deer, dart away, their tails held high, 6 white arrows pointing at the sky. Their tails held high, 6 white arrows pointing at the sky. Now they got a comma there. They don't got a like or an as, and they don't have is. So it's our little clues down here don't help us, but it's pretty obvious. If you've ever seen a deer run away before, their tails pop up, and the back side of their tail is all white fur, and so you can see their tails when their bodies are brown and they blend in with the woods. Their tails pop up, and you can see them, or at least their tails, as they run away. Tails are being compared to white arrows. And number 3. Into the night they disappear, as though they move as quick as a spear. A little later, they'll be back here. Into the night they disappear, though they move as quick as spears. Alright, so what's being compared? As quick as spears, how they move. So deer move. How they move compared to quick as spears. Now, I've never thrown a spear before, but I suppose a spear flies pretty fast. And deer move very fast, so a good comparison there. Let's go ahead and start with our name at the top. I'm going to try to get everything done in one video today so you don't have to watch two. So I'm going to bring in our second assignment for today. It was page 96. This is meter and rhythm. They give us the definitions up here. Meter is the rhythm, meter and rhyme. Meter is the rhythm of the syllables in a line of poetry. It is created by the arrangement of accented and unaccented syllables. So sometimes you say one word a little bit stronger than you say the other word. That would be accented. Remember, all week I've been saying da-da, 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 da-da. The little da's is the soft part, and the accent is the da, da-da, da-da, da-da. Okay? So try to listen to that. And sometimes how one person reads a poem and another person is a little bit different. And the last thing is we want to have rhymes. Usually the ending sounds of the words are the same, and a lot of times they're found at the end of the poem. Then they dart away, their tails held high. 6 white arrows point at the sky. We don't even get to say goodbye. I found the rhyming words, they're there at the end. Into the night they disappear, as though they move as quick as spears. A little later, they'll be back here. Find 2 examples of rhyme in the poem. Well, we found the first one. We got high, and we got sky, and we got goodbye. And the second one, disappear, spears here. Yep, same place in the second one. Disappear, spears, and here. What kind of meter appears in this poem? Then they dart away, their tails held high. I think the first part is unaccented. And the second part of each line is accented. If you're not sure how to spell those, they're right here. Unaccented and accented. Okay, so how do the meter and the rhyme affect the poem? I don't know what you guys think, but I think the meter and the rhyme make it flow really super good together. All right, and your assignment, number 4. It says, write another stanza for this poem that includes meter and rhyme. Well, what do we know about deer? Okay, well, deer are a lot afraid of humans. Maybe we want to write something about seeing you and being afraid. Deer love to eat corn. They could eat corn in a cornfield. Maybe we want to say something about they darted off to the cornfield. Here they're going to eat all the farmers' yield. And then I got to think of something else, how they'll be satisfied and ready for a brand new meal or something like that. So you got to kind of think through it, think your rhyming words at the end, and then go ahead and write your poem. Remember, unaccented at the beginning, then they dart away, their tails held high, 6 white arrows point at the sky. Okay? All right, so go ahead and put your name at the top. Good luck with your poem. Do the best that you can. God bless your day.